Warning: tube amplifiers have lethal voltages inside them. Please do not attempt to build, test, or repair these without understanding and following all safety protocols. Hey y'all! Well, it's time to start doing the work to this amplifier. And you can see we've already taken some of it apart. And this is what I'm going to call a build series rather than a mod series, because there's very little of the original circuit that we're going to be using. If you're curious about that, watch the first video in the series. The rest of these are going to be about building this amp. And this is basically a gut and rebuild. We're using very little, if any, of the original circuit, other than the power supply is very similar. So, yeah, let's get busy building this little amp. So the next thing we're going to do is install the grid stopper for the input tube, which is this 10K resistor right here. And I think I showed you this in another video, but I'll show you this again. Here's the pin out, 2 is the cathode, 3 is the grid, and then 5 is the plate. And you can see pin 4 isn't being used. So we're going to use pin 4 as a tag point, and we're going to put this 10K resistor across these 2 terminals. Just like that, and it's soldered into the lower hole in the tube socket. So the next wire we're going to hook up is going to be the signal in wire for the input tube, which is going to be connected to this grid stopper, which will solder this wire from this terminal to pin 4. That. And then finally, we're going to hook up the cathode wire for the input tube, and that's going to be connected to pin 2. So that's this green wire here. Stretch this guy over, and I'm actually going to cut off the upper part of this pin because we're not using it, just to make sure we got plenty of clearance between these 2 pins and they don't accidentally short out. And there we go. So we have this pin, which is pin 5, which is the plate. And this is pin 4, which goes through this 10K resistor to pin 3, which is the grid, and then pin 2, which is the cathode. And that's got our input tube wired up. So while we're wiring up these tube sockets, let's go ahead and finish wiring up our output tube. And to do this, we want to first connect up this wire here, which is the grid of our output tube. And if we look at our chart here, that's pin 2. So we'll be putting this red wire that's going from this terminal goes to pin 2 on the output tube. And then finally, we want to hook up the cathode of the output tube to this terminal down here, which is pin 3, which is going to be the one right next to the grid. And then later we'll come back and connect the screen up, which is this pin right here, which is pin 9. And it's going to come over and connect up here. But we'll do that after we get done with this wiring. Okay, so let's go over what we've connected so far on these tube sockets, just so you're absolutely clear about what's going on here. And we're going to start at pin 1 on the input tube. Pin 1 is not connected to anything internally in the tube or in the circuit. Pin 2 is the cathode of the input tube, and it's connected up to this tag strip right here. Pin 3 is the grid, and it's got a 10K resistor, the grid stopper, over to pin 4, which is not internally connected in the tube, and we're just using it for a tag point. And then we have this wire here that runs up to our input signal terminal right here. The next pin over is pin 5, which is the plate. Comes up here to this terminal here. Pin 6 is not connected to anything. And then pin 7 and 8 are the heaters. Okay, on our output tube, the EL84, again we'll start at pin 1. It's not connected to anything. Pin 2 is the grid. It comes up here, connects to this tag strip right here. Pin 3 is the cathode. Comes up here, connects to this terminal here. Then pins 4 and 5 are the heaters. Pin 6 is not connected to anything. And then I connected this up off camera. This is the wire from the primary of the output transformer that provides the high voltage to the tube, and it goes to the plate, which is pin 7. And it comes across here, and it's this wire coming from the output transformer, comes up here and connects to pin 7. Pin 8 is not connected to anything, and then pin 9 is the screen. And after we populate this part of the board up, we'll run a wire from here up to this filtered B+ after the voltage dropping resistor, the decoupling cap. So now we're ready to install these resistors on this part of the tag strip. Okay, so first resistor we're going to put in is going to be the cathode resistor for the input tube, which is this terminal right here is connected to the cathode, and this is our ground. So we're going to put this resistor in across here, like that. And I'm going to solder this end, but we're going to leave this end unsoldered for right now, because we've got one more resistor to install there. Next, we're going to install the grid leak resistor for the input tube, which goes from the signal terminal to ground. And it's a 1 meg resistor. This is a 820 ohm. And so we're going to come in here and heat this up. Let me clean my tip here. Retin it. Having a clean solder tip makes all of this so much easier to deal with. So we're going to come in here and heat this up. Put that in. Fill this one in. Like that. So then we have our grid leak resistor from here to ground, and the volume pot is actually behaving as a grid leak resistance and referencing the grid to ground, but we put this in here just in case something happens and the volume pot fails. The grid of the input tube always has a connection to ground. So then the next resistor we have is going to be this 470K plate load resistor for the input tube, and it's going to go across here. And I'm actually going to probably put it down here on this end like this. And then we're going to put some PTFE tubing on one of the leads. We're doing this a little differently than we did the other channel. I think this is a better way of doing it. And then you just have one little piece of this PTFE tubing insulating the wire. You don't absolutely have to do this, but I think it makes for a better end product to put a little insulating tubing on these long resistor leads. So it's going to go from here over to there. We'll trim that off. Bend this end over. And then we'll solder this guy in place. Again, this is our plate load resistor for the input tube. And then finally, we need to put the 150K resistor that goes from our front end voltage point here over to the cathode, which creates kind of a pseudo fixed bias for our driver tube, which is a kind of unique thing that I've never done in an amp before, but I think it's a really good idea. And it saves us from having to have a cathode bypass capacitor on the driver tube, which one of my mantras is, the less stuff in the signal path, the better. So this is going to go from here down to there. So let me see if I can get creative on bending this lead up. We're going to put a little short piece of PTFE tubing on this lead. Again, it's not mandatory, but I just think it makes for a better looking end product to insulate these long resistor leads. We probably shouldn't have soldered up the one down on this end. It will survive. So heat this up and poke that through like that. We'll come in here and solder this one up. And there we go. So again, this is our 820 ohm resistor that has this decoupling filter cap here from positive to ground. And so this is our high voltage for the front end driver tube. We have our 470K plate load resistor. We have our 820 ohm cathode resistor. Goes from the cathode to ground. And then we have this 150K that goes from this high voltage point to our cathode to create a fixed negative bias for our driver tube. Okay, we're right here at the end of this. Let's get our output tube grid leak resistor installed. And it's going to go from this terminal to this terminal, which is between the grid and the ground. And that's where this red wire is going, like that. And then we put our cathode resistor in, which is going from the ground, which is this terminal here, to the cathode, which is this terminal. This black wire here goes to the cathode. Then we need to put our cathode bypass cap in place, which goes across this resistor like this. And let's kind of hold this where it's going to be. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. And this cap is polarized, so make sure that you put it in the right direction with the negative side towards the ground, like that. Now, right now, we're not installing the coupling cap, and it's going to go from this terminal here to this terminal here, and then on the other side, the amp in the same place. And we'll be installing that after we check our voltages. That connection looked a little froggy. Just want to double check that one. So one of the last things we need to do is install the wire to the screen of the output tube, which is this pin right here. And it goes from that pin, it comes up here, and connects to this terminal right there. And that's the power going to the screen on the output tube. And then finally, we need to connect the output of the choke and the two output transformer leads, which is this little mess right here, and it goes through this terminal right here. It might have been a little easier to deal with that before I put that screen wire on, but I still think we can get in here and solder this. Just like that. And there we go. We got the amp all rewired up for this new circuit design. And all I got to do now is put the screws holding this tag strip down. And I'm ready to put the tubes in it and power this thing up and start measuring some voltages. And this looks like a great place to wrap up this video. So I hope you're enjoying this build series on this little amp. I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a more attractive amp than the little Maggie console pull that this is based off of. And so, this is a fun little project. It'll be a neat little amp when we're done. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Thanks to all you Patreon supporters, people that have joined the membership on the channel, as well as folks that make donations or send me amps to modify like this one here, and provide fun content so we can all learn about tube audio. And until the next video, have a nice day.